Hi, welcome to Let's Go Fishing. We are fishing Roodeplaat Dam today, just outside of Pretoria, and the venue that we are fishing is Sable Hills. But we're gonna do something entirely new in this episode of Let's Go Fishing. We're gonna fish two venues in one go. So what we're gonna do today, we'll be fishing Cast and Catch. It's right opposite Sable Hills, and in a day or two we'll be fishing Hengelaarsvriend on the other side of Roodeplaat Dam. Now Roodeplaat Dam is quite a big dam. This is the eastern side where we're fishing, and the next venue that we'll be fishing is the western side. Both very popular venues, hence the reason why we're fishing them. We're just going to do normal bank angling. My first time here, and I must say I'm quite impressed. Not a big venue, but very tidy, very neat, friendly people, and spectacular scenery. And a lot of fish activity. It's winter, and I'm only taking out my 10-foot rods. It's not very far across. If I have to estimate, it's about 140 meters across. But just over my right shoulder, there's a bridge where the road to Sable Hills goes to, and beneath that ridge is the river channel that comes through. And even if it turns away from me, it can't be further than 60 to 80 meters off the side, and that's exactly where I'm going to try and fish and see if I can catch a couple of nice Roodeplaat carp today. Come and fish with me for the day. Let's enjoy it, and hopefully you guys learn something about Roodeplaat. One of the most important things before we get to fishing is please subscribe to our channel. There's a lot of people that still don't know about Let's Go Fishing. It is the official YouTube channel of Signature Series. So guys, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Every time when something drops, you'll get notified. The other important thing is, you know that when we go fishing, we don't create a feeding spot before the time. I live in Rustenburg, Carl in Pretoria. This is 130 kilometers from my house. And when we do create a feeding spot, we'll tell you about it. So what I did this morning on arrival, I used our feeding weights to quickly cast in 6 millibombs, just a normal millibomb on this, casted it out to that 80 odd meters, and that's why I'm going to concentrate my one rod. The other one I'm going to throw a bit further to get into the shallower water to see if we can maybe pick up a bigger fish. I'm going to bait up. Let's go fishing. My left hand rod, that's my deeper rod, is ready to go out. So what I've got on here on the bottom, SWG sweet white garlic float. And then on the top hook, a pink garlic float, just a garlic oozing float in our range. Now, just for clarity, I had 2 half bottles. I mixed them together, and that's why they're together in my box. And then behind that, just a custard bullet on both. One short little custard bullet, the other one I made a bit longer, just to see what they prefer. And then on the bomb, the yellow, the Raptor spray, something that I haven't been fishing with for a while, but it's very good. And then the other one is the grasgogge, which is a wintergreen. A very, very good combination. The banana and the wintergreen, it gets my taste buds going. And I must say, I must get this in before I take a bite of it. Let's get it in. My right hand rod is baited up and ready to go out. Let's start with the millipips. 2 chop millipips, a simple approach, and we've had a lot of questions, but why do you cut your millipips? 2 reasons. We're fishing really small hooks. It just gives you more bites and light hook links. And then the other reason, I cut them because I want the flavor to release much quicker. And the chop flavor in Roodeplaat is something that really works well. On the bomb, I sprayed some chop onto the pips, and then this light brown color on the other side is the Honey Extreme, something that combines really good with the chop. I'm going to get it onto that spot where I created a small feeding spot by casting out 6 millibombs, and I'm just going to get it there and see how long it takes before we catch a fish. If we don't catch anything on the pips, it's actually a good sign. We are here to catch a couple of better sized fish, so then we'll change it up a bit, but I just have a sneaky feeling this is going to come through today. The small fish is keeping us rather busy here at Cast and Catch at Roodeplaat, and I must say, I think this is an awesome venue to bring your kids to. And even though it's winter, mid-June, the water's not that cold, so we're gonna just keep on plowing away. We say big or small, we catch them all. There's a little one on here. I'm going to get it into the net, show you how it looks, and bite up again. Not a big fish at all, but these are the size of fish that's keeping us busy the whole morning. Not a bad sized fish for a winter's day fishing. The fish is actually warm and the water's not that cold, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're still so active. Normally when the water cools down, these small fish would go off the bite and the bigger fish comes onto the bite, and that's one of the reasons why I don't understand why people in South Africa in winter don't fish. It's actually excellent fishing in winter. You can still catch a lot of fish. Winter only really sets into our dams and lakes at the end of June, and the really bad months in fishing is from mid-July to mid-August. Otherwise, awesome fishing. Get out there, go catch a couple. It's not a very big fish, but it's way bigger than what we've been catching all morning. There we go. Going in the right direction again. It's coming along. It's coming along, slowly but surely. We're gonna get a big one eventually. I'll just throw it back out there and see if we can get a bigger one. Let me get this one back and bite up again. The pips that we're using is definitely catching us a bit better sized fish. So on my left hand rod I'm changing to that. We've been catching way too many fish with the garlic floats and the bullet as a backing, but they are all small and that's not what we want to show you. So also 2 chop pips, that's what the fish are liking now. And on this rod I'm going to do some turbo garlic into the pip, into the open side of the pip, just like that, and also on top of it. And I'm doing both. The turbo garlic is also something that catches a lot of big fish. I'm going to just paste this onto the bomb a bit, and there's a jetty on my left hand side. I'm going to walk to the point of that jetty, going about 15 meters. I'm fishing with my 10-foot rods with 10-pound line. so I can't really get to the other side. So I just want to gain that 15 meters. There's a bay on the other side, a rocky bay. I want to cast it in there. There's some nice fish turning there. If they don't want to come to me, I'll go to them. There's a biggish bay over there. I'm going to go for the rock on the left. Oh, that's way too far right. That's fine. Ooh, big fish. The rod on the other side. The long rod coming through now. Ah, that's better. That's better. Whenever you want to catch bigger fish, especially in winter and in the beginning of winter, there's a feeding frenzy that as soon as the water temperature starts dropping, all the fish go on the bite. And in places like Roodeplaat where there's lots of small fish, they can be a nuisance, especially if you want to catch bigger fish. A lot of people just want to catch fish, and that's fine. Then you just fish for them. But if you want to catch bigger fish, try different things. Play with your bait. Do what I did with the mealy pips. There's a lot of dips that will catch you bigger fish. The bedazzled in our range, the turbo garlic, the Kiana pips even, they will catch you bigger fish. The idea is not to fish tempo then, is to get the bait to lie a bit to give the bigger fish an opportunity to get to the bait. The water isn't that cold. I reckon another 2 to 3 weeks of winter, and the big fish will move into this water here by cast and catch. It's much deeper than other places I've fished in Roodeplaat. But this is a nice fish, around about 2 kilos. Let's get it in the net. In the net she goes. Nice little fish, almost 2 kilos, not entirely there. I'm getting it straight back. This fish picked up on the chop millies with the turbo garlic pasted all over it. I'm going to do it exactly the same. Get it back out there, see if I can catch another big one. Let's do it. All I've done here, one of my tricks to catch bigger fish, those 2 chop millie pips, I've snipped open, the turbo garlic dripped right onto it and some on the bomb. I'm going to get it into the bay on the other side, see if I can catch a big one. Ooh, lovely. I've got another fish on. I've got both the rods now on exactly the same bait. Those 2 chop millie pips pushed back into the bomb with the turbo garlic on top of it and some smudged on the ball. If you want to do that, maybe just bait up a trace in advance and leave that turbo garlic a bit so that it forms a bit of a skin. Then it even works better. That's what I did with this rod. It lays for a bit, but it's getting to those big ones for sure. Our plan came together perfectly later in the day. I've got a good feeling about that rod. Normally what happens is when you push that hook back into the bomb, you'll get a bite and the policeman will drop a bit, or you see a bit of a bite, and that's exactly what happened on that rod now. It was hanging just out the water and it got a bump and it dropped into the water. So there's definitely a fish there. I think it's gonna go just now. just made it. Oh, it wanted to go around the jetty. No, this side. Come on, fishy, 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 fishy. Here we go. Come, 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 come. There goes the other rod. Oh, come, 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 come. Boom, chakalaka. Yes. What a fish. Looky, looky. Look at that. What a great fish. Roodeplaat gold, as I say. Come on, come on, come on, Jonty. And what a fight. Male carp, long skinny, long lean, fighting Roodeplaat machine. Let's get this baby back. There's a nice lazy Roodeplaat run for you. Ooh, this is a better fish. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Come on. We've come to the end of our first session of our Roodeplaat episode. It's the end of our day, but not the end of the program. In a couple of days we're going to be back, but we'll be shooting at Hengelaarsvriend, which is on the western side of Roodeplaat. If you guys want to come to Cast and Catch, just punch it into your Google Maps. It will bring you straight to the place. It's clean, it's neat. It's a spectacular venue for families. The fishing here is really off the charts. Lots of small fish, especially if you want to bring the kids out. Oh, nice big fish on the other side. Our plan came together today. We got the day together. We caught loads and loads and loads of small fish. And then when we started casting towards the other side with those chop millipips and covered in the turbo garlic, we started getting the bigger fish. So if you come here, make sure you got the products, make sure you do what we did, and you'll catch a bunch. I'm going to concentrate on this fish and see if we can get out of it. Just before I go, remember to subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends, please. The more subscriptions we get, the more content we're going to be able to push out. Hit that notification bell so that every time a new video drops, you'll be notified. There's our last fish for the session. Just could not refuse those chop millipips with the turbo garlic. It's been an awesome session. We worked out today, and I can't wait to get back here when it's really cold. I think we're gonna catch some really big fish, and I think it's a spectacular venue. See you guys soon. Hi guys, welcome to Let's Go Fishing. Today we are fishing Roodeplaat Dam, the infamous Roodeplaat Dam just outside Pretoria on the Moloto Road. The venue that we're fishing is Hengelaarsvriend, and it's one of those venues where you rock up and you don't know what you're gonna get. It's like Forrest Gump said, life is like a box of chocolates. Now Hengelaarsvriend is like a box of Smarties. Sometimes you rock up here, you catch big fish. Sometimes you catch nothing, and other times you catch a bunch of small fish. So there's lots of fish activity on the water. We're fishing stand number 1. There's a couple of people on stand number 2, 3 and 4 just next to us. They are catching a couple of small fish, so hopefully we'll be catching a couple. I'm going to fish 2 rods. I'm going to fish a long rod a bit further out, and I'm going to concentrate on one specific area with the short rod to see if I can work an area and get the fish in and maybe build up a tempo. Other than that, just plain bank angling. Remember, we keep it real. I left Rustenburg just past 4 this morning. We don't make feeding spots. We rock up and we fish like you fish. So everything we do is legit. We've got a saying, if it works for us, it's going to work for you. But don't add or don't do less. Do it exactly like we're doing. We're only fishing Signature Series products, from the feed to the mooties to the floats, everything Signature Series. And if you want to do it like we do it, that's what you got to do as well. Let's get fishing. I'm itching to get the rods into the water. There's lots of activity. Let's see if we can catch a couple. On my long rod, which is my right hand rod, I've got 2 HKGK, HKGK like we say in Afrikaans, float, and that's a soft oozing float, both hooks backed up with one short white dough, just normal clean white dough, and then one long white dough. And the reason why I do that is I'm not sure what's happening on the bottom. So normally if you have a soft bottom, you'll use the long white doughs, and if you have a hard bottom, you'll go for the shorter ones. Then on the bomb, BG, which is a very, very strong and sweet grenadella dip, works very well, especially in places with bigger fish, but it also can catch a lot of fish. And then that dark one on the other side is Black Magic, basically my left arm in bank angling. Everywhere I go, I fish with Black Magic. It's something that always brings me fish. It's got a lot of flora in it, very potent bun spice, and if you think back, if you know fireballs, that's more or less the taste and the flavor that you're gonna get if you taste on that. I'm going to get this in at around about 120 meters. There's lots of fish activity. I wanted to go further, but I'm casting towards the activity, and that's one of the main things when you rock up, especially with the seasons changing. Look for the fish activity, cast towards it. You will always catch a couple of fish early morning, and when it dies down you can go a bit further. Let's get this one out and see how long it takes before we catch something on it. My second rod is ready to go out. Just 2 chop oozing floats on both hooks, and then what I did on the bottom hook, I put a bullet backing. That's a custard bullet out of our Signature Series range. I put that on as a backing, and why I do that, in winter time the custard bullet just comes into its own and you catch a lot of fish with it. The top hook, all I did with that is I just a chop oozing float. I pushed it back into the bomb just like that. I took the rounding of the hook and pushed it into the bomb. That's gonna stay there even if it falls. I slightly hooked the bottom hook into the trace. It's just hooked beyond the point, beyond the barb, and that's gonna come out when it falls. On the bomb, I've got chop, the one and only, and then with that, one of our new combinations that we fish the chop with, the grasgogga. Now the grasgogga is a nice soft but very strong wintergreen flavor, and it also has a lot of flora in. It's quite sticky, and it will definitely go to the bottom and just keeps on oozing out, and it makes a nice flavor trail for the fish to easily pick this up. Let's get it out. This is my short rod. It's going to go to around about 100 meters, and I'm going to line clip it once I've casted it and just keep it in the same area. We've got our first bite on our right hand rod, which is the deeper rod with the BG and the black magic. And I must say, there's a lot of activity around, and one of the key things in winter fishing is to look for that fish activity where they are active, and especially at a place like Roodeplaat here at Hengelaarsvriend. There's a lot of anglers that fish here on a daily basis. Where the fish are active, there's most probably feed there. And with my left hand rod, my short rod, I'm a bit off the spot. I think I'm a bit deep, so next cast is going to be a bit shallower on that, but this one was on the money. There was some fish activity out there around about 120 meters. That's where I put it, and it wasn't in the water for too long. It's not a huge fish, but it's a fish that's definitely going to put more than a chip in the ice. That's a ghosty, a little ghost carp. There we go. Not a big fish, but a lekker start for a winter's morning. That's about a 800-900 gram ghost carp. Always a pleasure to catch them. There's a lot of them here in Roodeplaat, and how you recognize them is on the fin here. It's glowing. It's almost a koi-like shine to the fish. Just a carp, but lovely to catch them and lovely to know that it's actually a different type of carp. I am making an early morning change on my deep rod. I took off the HKGK floats, the HKGK, and I'm opting for the garlic, sweet white garlic oozing floats with a biggish dough. There's a lot of beautiful fish playing out there, and I'm not here to catch small fish. I want to try and catch the bigger ones. On the bottom, the orange, the BG, and then the darker one is the black magic. I'm going to get it out there again, see if I can hit that 120 mark more or less, and hopefully catch a bigger one. There's a lot of small fish in Roodeplaat at this stage. We're catching them off camera. I don't want to show you those fish, but we're just going to keep on pondering and see if we can catch a couple of big ones for you. So what happens when it drops again? I'm going to pick up, just wind until your tip gets heavy, and just set the hook lightly. Be ready for when that fish goes in the opposite direction, so that you can give it line if it wants line. This is not a big fish, it's a small one again. Everybody on the bank is catching small fish. Well, like I said, we're keeping it real. Big or small, we catch them all. There's our first fish. Not a very big fish, around about a kilo-ish. If you don't have an unhooking mat, this is how you do it. Pinch your landing net between your knees and handle the fish over it. Not with a big fish, please. Please handle big fish in the water. Not a very big fish. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come. The ice is broken now, literally. So we're gonna bait up again. Exactly the same baits, put it back out. See if we can catch a bigger one. There's a lot of small fish that's bothering us at this stage, and I'm saying bothering with a lot of respect, because a lot of people just want to catch a fish. But I'm going to try and fish away from them now, try and do something to get to the bigger fish. Now, one of the new flavors that I brought out recently is a ouzo flavor. That's a very, very strong aniseed flavor, and normally in winter times I switch to aniseed and I catch a lot of fish with it. So unfortunately haven't got the aniseed signature series maize pips with me, but what I'm going to do before I put my hook baits on, I'm going to put some of this ouzo onto the bomb so that it gets a bit of time to go into the bomb. It's oil based, so if you just put it on and cast out, most of it's gonna wash off the bomb and most of it's gonna go away. So when you use the ouzo flavor, I haven't got a spray on this atomizer, but you can put an atomizer on it before you bait up, spray it onto the bomb and just leave it for a while, and put your hook baits on and then cast out. Let's do that, and then I'm going to switch to almond maize pips. That normally also catches bigger fish. Let's see if we can fish away from the smaller fish and maybe catch a big one. Alright, let's get it out there. We've got a back bite here. Windy, 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 windy. It's coming in, it's coming in. Oh, it's coming in very quickly. Fishy on. Yeah, bokoko. There's a lot of small fish in Roodeplaat, and even now in winter I'm trying to fish away from them, but we can't seem to get through them. But we'll keep on trying while I'm playing this fish out. Remember to subscribe to our channel so that every time when a new episode of Let's Go Fishing drops, you get notified. Hit that notification bell as well, and please tell your friends about us. The more subscribers we get, the more content we can push out. We want to try and do at least a video per month, and if you have an interesting place you want us to fish, go onto our channel, leave us a comment there and tell us about it and put out the invite. This fish is right here. Let me go get it. Oh yes, going in the right direction. Thank you, little fellow. Ready to go back out again. Exactly the same. My two chop floats, that's the oozing floats out of the signature series, and then with the two custard bullets as backing behind, and then signature series feed, the orange packet, and then on the bomb we've got that level 5 feed mix, using it as a bomb dip today. And on here I've just got what remained of the custard bullet as a stopper, just to keep that top hook close to the milling bomb as it goes down. I'm going to get it back out to that 85 meters again. It's a bit slower now with the small fish. The bigger fish are definitely getting to the bait now. Let's catch another big one. Alright, 85 meters. I've got a mark on my spool. There we go. Yeah, with me is Uncle Willie, the oldest man in Pretoria. He's got a nice fish on. Whenever I want any information on Roodeplaat, I call the mayor of Roodeplaat. That's what I call him. He's got a nice fish on. He's fishing next to us. And he told me this morning that he's fishing with SWG floats. Hoe voel hy hom, Willie?
Baie mooi.
Mooi vis.
Baie mooi vis.
Fish came all around from Uncle Willie. Came into the bay. We're sitting on number 1 here at Hengelaarsvriend. And it's not a very big fish. I think you got it hook doubled, Uncle Willie. But it's bigger than my small ones. Here's Uncle Willie's fish, around about 2 kilos. Hoe ver het jy omtrent gegooi, Willie?
About 80 meters.
80 meters. So you don't need to cast your arms off in Roodeplaat. You can fish them from 30 meters to 150 meters. Nice fish on those SWG floats. Let's get it back and let it live to fight another day. There we go. Hey, that's a Roodeplaat run for you. Check it. Ooh, it's burning. Boom chakalaka. That's a nice fish. At last I've got a proper Roodeplaat fish on the line. And that's the thing about Roodeplaat. The colder it gets, the better it fishes. Off camera, we're catching a lot of small fish. 500 grams to a kilo. But that's not what we want to show you. We want to show you bigger fish and how to catch the bigger fish, especially in winter time. Now, when the small fish bother you, if you come to Roodeplaat, all you need to do is what I did with the hook baits. I upsized my hook baits. I took the custard bullet and used a whole bullet for a backing behind the bottom chop float, and then just half a bullet above the top hook. And that's something that normally works for me in winter. It becomes a bottom bait, and as soon as you fish as bottom bait, you catch bigger fish. It's just how it works. On the bomb, I made a change. I put that level 5 feed mix on the bomb as a dip. Yes, you can do that. And this rod was in the water for around about 20 minutes, and off it went. And it feels like a proper fish. Let's hope it's going to come out, because it's heading here into the bay and there's a couple of twigs sticking out. Let's hope I can keep it snag free. This is a very nice fish. Look at this. Around about 4.5 to 5 kilos. Roodeplaat fighting machine. Male carp, long and skinny. But a proper fish. Gave a nice run and picked up on that, on the bottom hook, with the whole bullet as a backing, the custard bullet, and that level 5 feed mix on the bomb. Man, what a pleasure. Whenever you handle big fish like this, rather safe than sorry, carry it in the net to the water, then you can't drop it, and just use your net to release it. Let them live to fight another day.